We got Steve Jobs, Kanye, Elon. This will be the best interview we ever did together.
True, Craig.
You know, when you asked that question, I thought about Harry Potter. I was wondering when Harry Potter started. Like, when was the first book? Because I was wondering, wow, we've been around as long as Harry Potter. So kids, you know, you grow up with something like that. I guess that's how it feels. Some people are grown up, but used to read Harry Potter as a kid. You know, when we started our band, no one had cell phones, really. Our audience is, you know, I look out from stage night after night and I see familiar faces and people. Even there was a kid, the guy that I brought on stage to do the tweet, I've seen him many, many times. I've talked to him before. And I saw another person over here we recognize, you know. You see people that are familiar, and that's cool. You grow up together, and then they bring their kids, and their kids grow up to, you know, it's a pretty wild thing. My brother and I just wanted to make music. I mean, we really didn't have a goal. I think when we were young, you know, listening to Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd, you know, we probably dreamed of making an album. I think for the new album, for us, it was about redefining who we are, make the album that we wanted to make and not feel like we were obliged. It feels like a first album in a way. It's a brand new start for 30 Seconds to Mars. I mean, the songs are very modern, very different, as they should be. It's evolution. I mean, I think I've been influenced by a lot of what's going on in hip-hop, and you basically have a beat. Well, I always love Kanye, and I think, you know, he's a big influence on what's still happening in hip-hop today. I mean, I think 808s and Heartbreaks probably changed a lot. He sang, he broke rules. I like some bands that never change. That's fine, but it's just for me, I don't know. I'm not interested in that. I think because it's been 5 years since we put the album out, it'd be a little ridiculous if the last album sounded like the new album. Yeah, it's enough opportunity there to wash away the past. I think it's just to listen and experiment, make some mistakes. I write probably, you know, 1,000 songs just to get 12 for the album. Very simple to me. If you just looked about the times we're living in, you know, it's a song about what's happening in the world. It's an anthem, a gospel anthem, and it's about change. It's about standing up and fighting for what you believe in. It's about freedom. It was less a moment of inspiration and a series of events. I think about politics, I think about our society, how things are in the rest of the world. You know, I think about how close France was to having your own alt-right, far-right government, you know. Donald Trump is one accurate representation of a certain part of America. The balance is a little off right now. Yesterday in America, kids walked out of schools and protested gun violence, and this place, America, with this dream that you can be a young child and, you know, go to public school and have nothing and grow up to become the president of the United States. If that's your dream, it can happen. Or you could lose your life because there are people running around that are unstable with. It's a challenging time right now in America. I'm optimistic, but I mean, in a way, I'm not so sure we're gonna fix things until we have to. I think at some point we'll probably have artificial intelligence have to tell us what to do. If the priority was to save the planet, then yes, artificial intelligence would probably wipe us out somehow. Because we're obviously killing the planet, right? It's kind of like you have a car driving towards a brick wall, right? At 100 miles an hour, and it's a mile away. And we've just decided, let's slow down to 90 and see what happens. You've got to stop and turn around the other direction. There are going to be no fish left in the ocean soon. You can't breathe the air. But innovation, technology, artificial intelligence. These things are inevitable, and eventually we'll grow food in space. As crazy as that sounds. The energy that we get from the sun and the ability to do that will be these massive farms in space. It'll be cheaper, more efficient. There'll be much more room. This is the weirdest interview you've ever done. I mean, I think I'm just an artist. What do I know? I'm not comparing myself to Leonardo da Vinci at all, because I'm not. But Leonardo da Vinci, scientists were artists. There are a lot of artists that are participating in the architecture of tomorrow. And I think that's true of everything, you know. It's the reason Apple is Apple. It's because of art, right? Before Apple, you had IBM, Microsoft, you had some other competitors, but Apple had the mind of an artist. It had the eye of a creative person. You know, Steve Jobs was a highly creative person and was able to give that gene, pass that gene on, and to the company as a whole still carries that ethos. It's the reason why he had certain fonts that were included in the Macintosh, right? Because he studied calligraphy in college. Okay, let's talk about Elon too. Elon is my friend as well. He's one of the few people that make me feel like I need to work harder. I know that, you know, Elon was inspired a lot by science fiction that he read as a kid. Art and music, creativity is a glue that binds all of us together, allows us to dream bigger. Scientists were artists. There should always be creative people at the table. And I think that's true of everything, you know. I mean, I think you could just sit back either way. It's gonna happen. The future's gonna happen either way. There will definitely be revolutions. I think there's also an incredible groundswell of young people that are politically activated now because of what's happening. Absolutely, the youth is going to change the world, and the future belongs to the youth. But you see things swing from the right to the left, to the right to the left, and you know, people forget that, oh wait, socialism didn't really work that well in its most extreme form. Oh wait, you know, the alt-right didn't really work that well in its extreme form, but you see things bouncing around. My message to the youth would be to stop at nothing.